at the launch of the new Hyundai Grand Creta. It's a new segment for Hyundai, but if you have a look, let's just start at the front here and see this very interesting grille that is reminiscent of the Palisade, and it makes you think of the much bigger vehicle. Also, even the daytime running lights on the car, you can see, are very, very similar to those of the Palisade. So it is clearly a Hyundai, but what they've done is they've taken the Creta's shape and they've certainly extended it by quite a lot, about 200 millimeters longer, to create a 7-seater. That's right, 7-seater crossover SUV. Nice 18-inch mag wheels on the Elite models over here, and you get 200 mils of ground clearance on this car. So it does give you features like that that make it important for family use, family traveling, and any use like that. Choice of 2 engines. You can either get a 2-liter petrol engine, naturally aspirated, or 1.5-liter turbo diesel. We've driven the diesel versions today, and they certainly are interesting. You take a look over here. As I said, it is quite a long vehicle, and of course, because of the 7-seater facility and feature, you've got this very big C-pillar which gives you access to the rear section. Because let's pop open the rear door over here, and you'll see you've got, of course, the middle row of seats, which can be adjusted and moved slightly, and if you pull this lever, you pop over there, and that gives you access to the 2 rearmost seats over there. And decent legroom for a vehicle of this sort, of course, and that is an important feature. Just showing you while we're here, of course, is the 2-tone interior on top Elite models, and that's also a very nice feature. You've got the light, so it makes it very light and bright, and you do have a panoramic sunroof as standard on Elite as well. You get Executive or Elite Spec. Those are the 2 versions that you get. The Elite giving you lots of extra features like the panoramic roof, the 2-tone interior, and a couple of other features as well that you get on it. Of course, as is always the case, you don't get too much boot space in 7-seater spec, but it's certainly just picture dropping these seats and you'll see exactly how much room you'd get in the rear if you were just using it as a 5-seater instead. And if I pop that down, you'll see over there how much boot space it would give you as a 5-seater, and that certainly would be a great 5-seat family vehicle for traveling purposes. On Elite, you get front and rear park distance control. On both of them, you do get a reverse camera, which is very, very useful. This, in fact, is the 2-liter petrol version that I'm looking at right now. But overall, you can see, nice long vehicle, spacious, and I can tell you, very, very comfortable. Let's take a look inside. Well, we're out on the road in the Grand Creta, and we're actually on a section of dirt road. So it's not the smoothest piece of road, so the camera is going to bounce around a little bit, so please accept that. But of course, it's a Hyundai launch, which means I'm being driven by the legend.
I didn't cut that out.
Hello, Roger.
Yeah, nice to see you.
The legend, Mr. Roger McCleary.
Thank you,
himself.
Alan. It's not true, actually, but thank you, Alan.
It is a pleasure, Roger. We drove out in the car. I was driving, and you survived that part.
Yeah, sure.
Now you driving me, and we're on the section of dirt road. But give me your impressions.
Well, I tell you, Alan, you know, we've said it a few times with Hyundai. Nobody makes bum cars these days, but making good cars, I think the 4th biggest in the world is Hyundai. And it's just another winner when you get into it. You just expect to get in, it runs silently, it's got all the features. You get on dirt roads, you've got to think, oh, we're on the dirt roads. The other thing is, of course, we're driving one of their fancy diesel models, the 1.5 diesel. You've actually got to look to think, oh, in a diesel, there's no noise.
It's silent, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So
I'm about to hit a water splash. Sorry to interrupt, but let's go through it, Roger.
Yeah. And, you know, you just expect it from another winner. You want all the room. This is the Grand Creta, which means it's got another couple of seats. It's a 7-seater. I mean, the back seats go forever.
They do. Long. It's a lot. What's it? 4.7 meters long. So it's a long vehicle.
Absolutely. And you know, I think the overriding features, Hyundai, it's got features. I mean, Stanley Anderson
Yeah.
and his team get the spec together, and they give you everything. You want it, look at that, it's got this too. It's got a beautiful automatic 6-speed, the manual and the automatic. And it's just what you expect. You don't feel the change, you don't hear the tires, you don't hear the engine. So I reckon just another winner from Hyundai. What do you think, Al?
I have to agree with you. You know, the diesel, on when they showed us the slide and they said 88 kilowatts and 250 newton meters, you kind of thought maybe a bit low on power.
Yeah.
But it cruises at the national speed limit very comfortably. Overtook nicely when I needed to a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's got it all, and spec-wise, boy, I mean, this is the Elite. It is the top spec model, so it's got absolutely all the spec in the world, including a really lekker big panoramic sunroof, if you like those.
Alan, just talking the sunroof, it's
Yeah.
the length of the car, man.
That's it.
Everybody can sit there enjoying the sunshine.
Yeah,
And boy, is it good in South Africa. And I don't underestimate a sunroof. It's lovely to have it, you know.
yeah, and it's got a cover in case it gets a bit hot, but you can slide the cover. The automatic box, as you mentioned, you've even got ventilated front seats on this car. So nice, eh? I mean, good spec, that's the point. It is the Elite, it is the top model in the range, because the pricing from 440, call it 450, 449,900 for the petrol manual, and the one we're in now, which is top of the range. You see the dual colors, the light and dark coloring, etc., etc. We at 560, 559,900.
Well, I mean, it's very nice. I mean, the top of the range. Just talking the colour scheme.
Yeah,
It's only in the front you get the white with the dashboard and the cubby.
correct. Yeah, yeah.
It's actually, you know, when you first get it, you think this is nice. It keeps the car nice and airy. You know, you're feeling it's something bigger than all. Now, you know, whatever we say with Hyundai, they build them in the Czech Republic now, in Indonesia, all over the world. Top spec is what you want. Pay your money, and you get what you're paying for, and it really is good value for money.
100% agree with you. Well, Roger, thanks a lot, and thanks for your company again today.
And thanks, Alan. It's nice driving with you.
Especially Hyundais, we have to be together, don't we?
Of course.
Thanks again. Jumping in behind the wheel, you can see you've got the TFT screen in front of the driver, and you've of course got the touch screen over here. Got cruise control on all models, and lots of extra features you do have on the models. I mentioned the screen, of course. It's got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. It's got inductive charging down there on Elite models, and you've got your USBs, etc. over there as well. You've got on Elite, you get electronic parking brake, auto hold, and seat ventilation for the front seats on Elite versions. Interestingly, the automatic models come with a 6-speed torque converter standard type automatic transmission, which is super smooth. It really is. So that again is useful and good to have. You get, I mentioned, you get either petrol or diesel. The diesel puts out 88 kilowatts, 250 newton meters. The petrol puts out 107 kilowatts. So on paper puts out a lot more power, but that diesel certainly goes nicely. That's the one we drove today. The pricing for a 2-litre petrol manual starts at 449,900, and you go up to 559,900 for the top spec diesel version, automatic, etc. And that, as I say, is the one we drove with the big sunroof and other features like that. Certainly not too many competitors in this category that give you 7 seats and in this price range. So it is an interesting and slightly more difficult one to pigeonhole, can I put it that way. You get auto stop start as well, and keyless entry on Elite models. So it's all these sort of features that Hyundai, as always, make sure that they spec so highly on all their cars and make sure they give such full spec on all their vehicles. So important in every way whatsoever. But overall, the drive was good, smooth, comfortable, and I think it's another little niche that Hyundai are plugging in their range, and they're so good at doing that. Niches within niches within niches, as seems to be the modern way with cars today. So I think if you're looking for a crossover SUV, you may need 7 seats on occasion. Well, there are not too many choices, but this certainly is one that I think you should take a look at in that respect. Behind the camera yet again, For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor, and I'll see you next time.